yesterday, and what are some strategies that can be used to decrease procrastination behavior and take action even if you feel anxious or scared. And yesterday we have mentioned that each time when you want to start something and you feel anxious, pausing and noticing your feelings, what's happening with you internally, noticing any physical sensations, feelings, and thoughts, and taking small steps despite discomfort might be the first step to decrease procrastination. We also discussed about brain functioning, what's happening with your brain when you are trying to do certain things, trying to start certain things, and what you can do about it. And we also mentioned that whenever you feel unmotivated, asking yourself why you are doing this, which value is hidden behind the task or action that you are trying to do, might help you to motivate yourself, because values are different from goals. If goals can be such as reaching a certain point, going to somewhere, achieving something, you can try to use your values for a lifetime. For instance, we brought an example of going to north. You can always move towards north, but never be able to reach the north. And that's why using your values, any value that you feel at that point that's important for you, might help you to overcome resistance and to keep moving even when you don't feel like. And we also mentioned, for instance, while starting certain task, if you are studying for an exam, or if you are trying to work, asking yourself why you are doing this, which value is behind, and taking small steps towards that value can help to create momentum. And once you start doing things, generally you feel better about yourself, your confidence increases, and your feelings decrease, emotional regulation gets easier, and that can be the point where you can continue to do certain things. And today we'll be discussing about resistance. So imagine that after trying certain things or doing them for a while, you face with resistance. Again, your motivation goes down, and what you can do about it. Maybe you will notice some thoughts such as, I'm too tired, what's the point, I deserve a break, this won't work, I don't have self-control. You might have feelings such as anxiety, self-doubt, heavy feelings in your body. One of strategies is noticing your physical sensations. For instance, try using breathing exercises, because when you focus your attention on your breath, on physical sensations, your attention automatically goes to somewhere else, and that helps to decrease anxiety and understanding why you have these feelings. Most of the time we have anxiety and physical symptoms that are caused by anxiety because we care about whatever we are doing at that point. If it's your assignment or your work or your career or your child, your relationships, it means that if you have anxiety, if you have fears, you care about these things. And instead of feeling panic about the feeling scared of feeling, or thinking about the worst case scenarios, gently reminding yourself why you are having this feeling, that you are having this feeling because you care about it, can help to create to decrease secondary reaction and to keep going despite these uncomfortable feelings. And it's quite normal to have resistance, to feel unmotivated from time to time. And you can always learn to remotivate yourself, to shift your attention, and to do certain things that would help you to regulate your emotions better, and to help yourself to keep going no matter how you feel. Your mind is like a problem-solving machine, and it produces thoughts constantly. You cannot delete your thoughts, and you don't need to. And anyone are having automatic thoughts. It doesn't matter whether we are psychiatrists, psychotherapists. If you are human, you will always face with automatic thoughts. And the only people who don't have any automatic thoughts are the ones who are dead, or who are in comas in hospitals. And therefore, instead of being afraid of automatic thoughts or wanting to delete them, we can learn strategies that would help us to keep going and to do things that we want to do despite these automatic reactions and thoughts. So we cannot delete the thoughts, but what we can do, we can stop, we can notice the thoughts, we can notice physical sensations, we can ask ourselves what's important for us at that point, and to continue to do what we were doing. And resistance is not a sign that you should stop, it's a sign that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. And there are certain articles that are saying if you are feeling resistance, if it's difficult for you to continue, if you are having urge to procrastinate or to avoid, that's actually where the growth is happening, where you are learning something new. Because when a person is trying to learn something new or to develop themselves, there would be a resistance from your brain. And each time you face resistance, repeat the same steps. Observe your thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations. Notice who is noticing these thoughts. Realize that you are not your anxiety, you are not your thoughts. You are the space that holds these feelings and thoughts. They come and go like people and objects on a stage, and you are the one holding space for them. You are the one with enough room for all feelings. Try to remember about the skies and the clouds as a mindfulness. There are a lot of clouds that are passing by. However, the sky is so deep and there is so much space that there is space for all the clouds and all other things. However, when we have strong feelings like anxiety, fear, sometimes it might seem as if it's difficult to handle these feelings, that it's too much. However, at the point when you are noticing these feelings or thoughts, uncomfortable internal experiences, you would notice that their impact over you, their hold over you will decrease, and it will help you to create distance between you, between your thoughts, your feelings, and notice that you are not anxiety, you are not fear, you are not panic. You are somebody who is experiencing these feelings, and this would help you to create time and energy for yourself. Instead of fighting with these feelings, instead of trying to suppress them, you can simply shift your focus and attention and energy towards what matters for you at that point. So simply step back from the stage and observe what's happening. Which version of you shows up when you try to create space for these sensations? Who do you want to become? Gently invite the courageous version of yourself, or the version who has already succeeded, to walk beside you, guided by the values that brought you here. And gently shift your perspective and invite compassion into the moment. Imagine that the future successful version of you can see you struggling today. What would they say you? How would they look at you? Would they judge you, or would they respond with understanding, patience, and encouragement? You can also remind yourself what helped you to stay calm, regulate yourself, and to take steps when it was hard, when it was scary. We oftentimes forget about past experiences, past ways of success. For instance, do you remember any times when you were feeling scared, anxious, but you succeeded in your exams, in your assignments, in your studies, in your career? So instead of seeing panic, anxiety as something scary, as a monster, try to see it as something that is helping you, that telling you, reminding you that it's important. And when you will remind yourself about those times when you succeeded, you can ask yourself what helped you during those times. Was it mindfulness? Was it breathing exercises? Was it certain belief, thought, or somebody, or any environments or memories? What exactly helped you at that point, and what was there about you that helped you to use these resources, skills? What made it possible? And once you will realize that you have a lot of resources, capabilities, skills, features that might help you to cope with the current situation, and you can gently invite these courageous times, features, skills into the present moment, and you can use the same resources again. So even at times when we feel upset, depressed, or anxious, we might forget about our own capabilities, history of success, resources, skills that we have, people whom we can call, or any options that are available for us, because we are too focused on the problem, on anxiety, and it's difficult to see anything else, any possibilities. So let yourself hear that words. Perhaps they would remind you that the struggle is part of the path, that you are learning, that you are already enough, that you don't need to be fearless, to move forward. And another problem is that we oftentimes focus too much on the problem, and we forget to see the bigger picture, because oftentimes the struggles we are having is a part of this is a part of success, is a part of story. And when we start to see it in this light, it gets easier to feel more comfortable with discomfort, or feelings and thoughts that feel uncomfortable, and it's easier to take steps despite these uncomfortable feelings and thoughts. What has helped you to take steps in the past when you were scared or anxious? What motivated you? What helped you to dissolve your fears? What would be different if you could awaken those forgotten strengths and skills and carry them with you on this journey? What would, for instance, other people would notice about you if you were taking courageous steps, if you were calm, more peaceful, more regulated in your relationships? What difference would it make for you, for your future, for your kids, for people around you whom you care about? What would they notice about you? How would your day look like? How would your evenings, months, years would look like? And what difference can it create in your life? When you look at the bigger picture and what change it can create in the long run, again, this can help you to see the challenges and problems that you are experiencing, to be willing to experience these problems. Now connect with your younger self. If you could see your child version, if your child version could see that you are succeeding, what would they feel? What would they say? What would they be proud of you not giving up? What words of encouragement would they whisper to you? Which of your dreams would they have hoped to see you bring to life? Allow yourself to feel this inner innocence, their hope, their belief in what is possible. Perhaps they would remind you why you started. Perhaps they would encourage you to be brave, to stay curious, to keep dreaming. You have overcome challenges before, and strengths you needed then are still within you. Your future self believes in you, and your younger self is cheering you on. That's why invite this wise, courageous, compassionate version of yourself to take the lead and guide you gently, one small step at a time, because nobody can know what exactly you need, but asking yourself the right questions, remembering about history of success, about capabilities, and asking yourself why you are trying to do whatever you are trying to do and to achieve, and thinking about your values, why is it important, what difference it can create for you, for others, and for the people whom you care, and seeing the problems, challenges as a part of growth, development, and asking yourself questions I have shared with you can help to see anxiety, panic, fears, or whatever is on your way from different perspectives, and to become more motivated, more willing to embrace uncertainty, difficulties that you are taking, and taking steps towards what you want to do despite these uncomfortable things and challenges. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you are always welcome to leave your questions, and if you want to continue to listen to these videos, don't forget to subscribe and to share it with your friends. Thank you for your time.